Okay, I'm going to call this meeting to order. Oh, do I need to use my gavel? Is that what you want me to do? Okay, to start today, we're going to have the prayer by James Shinko. Y'all want to stand?
Please rise and bow your heads.
Remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ms. Phyllis, will you do roll call, please?
Vice Mayor Dale.
Present.
Alderman Elder. Alderman Langford.
Here.
Alderman Linder.
Here.
Alderman Proctor.
Here.
Alderman Rubel. Everyone present except Alderman Elder and Alderman Rubel.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Okay. Motion made by Bill Linder and second by David Langford. Minutes have been approved. Okay, at this time, I'm going to open it up for public comments. Does anyone want to come to the podium and make public comments? If you do, you have 3 minutes. Okay, no public comments at this time. Next, are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? Okay, and currently we have no old business, so we'll move on down to new business. And first up, we have downtown revitalization with Jean. Shannon will probably say some things, and then we have Tim and Rita Richardson here to give us a little update about the weekend.
Hello, everybody. I'll give you a quick update. We have some really good news that we got this past week. Our rebate money came in, and that came in to the tune of $623,862.97. Don't forget the 97 cents. Compare that, I looked back, and back as far as 2018, our total was about 163,000. So we've gone from 163,000 to 630 or 23,000 in 6 short years. That's quite an achievement, I think, for the city. A lot to be proud of for what work has happened. I'm going to ask you for 2 things, if I could. I put a copy of the budget that we're working on, and this is last year's budget. That figure I just gave you is up there at the top in blue, but it's not included anywhere in any of this other than just a notation there. But we've made the last loan payment on the park. That's the first one in green, and so that puts $138,000 back into the kitty for us to use for revitalization. We're working on what we have spent for the engineering on the different projects to see what we will carry forward for next year. We feel like there's going to be some carried forward, hopefully. But in green also, there's Live in Livingston and Christmas in the Country. And in order to get the acts booked for Live in Livingston, we'd like to go ahead and ask for that $70,000 to be approved ahead of the budget. It'll be the same in the next budget. And then Christmas in the Country, we'd like to increase that to $30,000 because that's on us as well But I'd like to get your approval to spend those two, or to approve those two numbers so that we can get started on planning for that, Live in Livingston and Christmas in the Country.
Sorry.
Do I have a motion?
I got a question for Gene first.
Okay.
Question?
Do you know what that 30,000 will, I guess what we'll see from it from Christmas in the Country?
Yeah, we've, Lori, do you have a idea of what we could tell them about that?
Well, I don't have the paper in front of me, and Shannon might be able to help me, but there are several items that were a bouncy house, a slide.
There were several things of that nature that were purchased for the use, to have it up on have some of it down at Central Park and some of it up on the square, just to encourage more people to come out on that second night of Christmas in the Country. So it's more for the kids, just to bring some additional things to the downtown square. Again, just to bring more people in and spend money.
And it's been changed up from, it's not the carnival rides this year, so it's a different atmosphere this year.
So you're during budget, 26,400, so you're just roughly asking for an additional 4,000?
Yes, correct.
Increase 230, yes.
Correct. Increase 230.
Makes a big difference.
Yeah. No, sorry, no, just an increase of 4,000. And the other amount, that's what we had last year, we'll just keep it the same amount, and that way we know what we got to work with. So those two items. And again, we feel like there's going to be some carried over, even with this budget that we had presented last year, there was 83,000 left over, so we're going to have some carryover, but I should have that budget, full budget for you by next meeting.
So you need a motion?
Does anyone have any other questions? If not, do I have a motion?
I'll make motion to approve both of those.
Okay, we have a motion by Rex Dale and a second by Bill Linder. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Like sign, motion passed.
Thank you. Also, on the courthouse project, I had a message from Ray today. Said we made some very good progress. We only have a few items left before we can get TDOT to get the okay for bidding that out to get started. The long-awaited courthouse project. He said the sidewalk project was the same. We had some good progress, and he feels like we'll be bidding that out soon as well. So those things are good. And as you know, this funding that we have goes to June of 2028. So this year and going forward, we're looking for very impactful projects that will carry forward even after the money runs out. So we'll be coming to you with some ideas on that at a later date too. Thank you. Any questions?
How's the Church Street project coming?
Church Street, thank you for bringing that up. Church Street should start paving anytime now. The contract for paving was approved and they could start as early as October 1st today, but weather permitting, that'll start any day now. And that'll be paved and done.
Okay, thank you, Gene.
Thank y'all.
Okay, I wanted to talk about some ribbon cuttings, groundbreakings, and some other things going on this month. Today, we celebrated a ribbon cutting with Clydesdale Farms. They are, of course, their farm was actually destroyed by a tornado a couple years ago, and they have been working on rebuilding, and they have rebuilt everything, and they have they're going to open their farm up to farm tours, and hopefully starting a nonprofit that will allow for people that just need some extra peace in their life to come out and enjoy the farm and enjoy the horses. I really do think they've got a great thing going. It will classify as agritourism, and it'll be one of the few agritourism locations that we have in Overton County. They are having their grand opening this weekend on Saturday from 2 to 6. So if you have some time, please go out and check them out. We have a groundbreaking tomorrow at TCAT at 10 a.m. So all of you are invited to that. We have another ribbon cutting and grand opening on Friday at 2 p.m. on the downtown square at Livingston Nutrition. They're over on East Court Square side. Then we have a grand opening and ribbon cutting for Watson Chevrolet at 10 a.m. next Monday, and another ribbon cutting on October 11th at 10 a.m. with Casa of the Tennessee Valley. They are over next to the police department in that little strip mall at the end of North Church. We are in the process of working with 3 other businesses on scheduling ribbon cutting, so as I know what those dates are, I will let you know. But we would love to see all of you at those if possible. That's a lot of good things happening. And then our largest event of the year is happening later this month. Following brought out close to 8,000 people last year to our downtown square within a 4-hour period. So it's definitely one of the higher traffic events that we have. So that will be on October 26th. We have already started taking registrations for booths and vendor booths on our website. So one of the first things that's happening is our haunted walking tours downtown. October 12th, there will be one at 7. October 19th, we'll have one at 7 and 8:30. And then on October 26th, we will have one at 7 and 8:30 as well. Tickets are $5 a person, and you can reserve the tickets at discoverlivingstontn.com/haunted tour 2024. Then, of course, our regular downtown trick-or-treating for the kids, that happens from 12 to 4 that day. Anyone who has not already reserved their booths, please register. It's discoverlivingstontn.com/following 2024. And I'm just going to say this publicly so everybody can hear it if they're listening. If you are a business and you want to set up a booth, please just don't tell me to sign you up, because you won't get signed up. I will forget. So please go to the website and register for a booth so we can get you placed where you need to be placed. Something new this year, we're doing a following fall market at Central Park from 12 to 7. So if you are a vendor and would like to set up to sell your items, you can do that in Central Park that day, and you can register at our website /following 2024 as well. Then at 3:30 at Central Park, our very own Cousin, the band Cousin, will be playing at 3:30 at Rotary Main Stage. Then we will be showing Beetlejuice at 5 p.m. at Central Park. And lastly, the Heritage Museum, they are doing their Night at the Museum again this year. That is from 5 to 9. And for those of you who didn't go last year, try to take a moment and go check that out, because they've been working very hard with some of the high school students. They've got about 30 high school students that will be helping them with this. So they will be bringing the museum to life. So these kids will be telling the stories of all of the exhibits, and they will be dressed in period clothing as if they were that particular person in history. So it is a wonderful, wonderful event to take your kids to, or just to visit without your kids, just whatever. It's a great event, and you'll learn a lot about Overton County, I can promise you that. And I think that's all. I could probably talk more, but I'll save that till next month.
Thank you, Shannon.
Thank y'all.
Next are Tim and Rita Richardson, or just Tim? Okay.
Hi, my name is Tim Richardson. I'm the president of the new Overton County Arts Council. We're a new nonprofit organization set up in January. We've started doing several things around town. We started the Libby Allen High School Art Contest in April, so we'll try to do that every year in April. Way to encourage our high school students to get more involved in art. We do a monthly art mixer, which is more for adults to get together and build community and celebrate art and get more engaged with the arts. Those have been very popular. We do those at the Chamber, thanks to Shannon, and they've been well attended. We do art classes every second Saturday of the month. Those have been well attended. Suzanne Smith, a local artist, has been teaching those. But really what I want to tell you about today, you may have seen some of these posters around town. This is our first big event. It's called Paint Livingston. And what this is a painting contest. So we put out a call to all artists throughout the state. 38 different artists are coming here from all over the state, from Nashville, Knoxville, all throughout the Upper Cumberland. And you'll see them setting up their easels all around town and all around the county. They'll be painting outside, and it's a competition. So they'll do up to 3 paintings, and they'll submit those paintings Saturday morning, and there'll be an exhibition at the library from 12 to 4. So I encourage you to come out and check out the artwork that's created. It'll feature our county and our city. And then there's a sort of mini competition at Saturday morning from 9:30 to 11:30, all around the square. And in just 2 hours, these artists will go from a blank canvas to a finished painting. And so it's kind of magical to watch. And the idea is that hopefully folks will come out and see them at work and be inspired to create work themselves and get more engaged in the arts. Our overarching mission is to really help kids in K through 12. And so we only have 2 art teachers in this county, Libby and Eddie at the high school. And we want to help them out. We want to help them reach more kids and expose more kids to art. And that's our big overarching mission. So we'll get 20% from all the proceeds. Any art that's sold on Saturday, 20% will come back to us. And we'll plow that right back into the community, try to help Libby and Eddie with more, reaching the kids more and getting the kids more involved in art. We've received a couple grants from the Tennessee Arts Commission already, and we hope to receive more grants and apply for bigger and more grants next year and just really kind of keep growing the organization. So there'll be things going on in the park Saturday. We'll have chalk artists in the park, and we'll give away free chalk to kids so they can paint with chalk. And we just encourage everybody to come out. And, excuse me? Oh, and then also, I forgot, Bud Bishop, Mitchell White, who's on our board, has gone to a lot of collectors here in town who have Bud Bishop's work, and he's gathered it back together, and it's on display at Bishop's Studio from 10 to 4. That's free and open to the public. So if you haven't seen Bud's work going back to the year 2000, it'd be a great opportunity to see his work too. What else, babe? Oh, and also the post office. Yeah, so we have a beautiful mural in our post office. You see the real brains behind the organization here. We have a beautiful mural in our post office done by Margaret Covey Chisholm back as part of the WPA back in 1940. It's a beautiful mural, and we're very blessed. One of her surviving sons and his wife and their daughter are coming. The Chisholms are coming from Tucson, Arizona. We're going to recognize them on Friday, a special proclamation recognizing them and their mother's work. And so that'll happen on Friday. Then Saturday, the post office will be open. We'll have folks, volunteers from 11 to 1 in the post office along with the Chisholm family to answer questions about that mural and what Margaret Covey Chisholm did. So that's just one of the many activities we have going on. Did I miss anything else? No, that's good. Next time I'll have her come up and give this presentation. Any questions or comments about what we're doing?
The one Friday, is that open to the public, or is that just a closed one?
So Friday, Mayor Burnett is going to it'd be a brief ceremony at the post office at 11 a.m. And Mayor Burnett's going to say a few words about the Chisholm family and welcome them here. And then, so that'll be, the whole public is invited to attend that, yes.
Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you, and thanks for what you guys are promoting in our community. I think a lot of people are very appreciative of bringing that to
Yeah, the
Livingston,
response has been
so.
great, and I think people just can get behind that mission of improving education for the kids. So it's been a wonderful response. We're very pleased.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you both. Okay, next on the agenda, we have Allison Hudson from Magnolia River.
Thank you. Good evening. I want to say there's a lot of really fantastic initiatives and events going on here. I wish that I lived closer so that I could participate in them. So appreciate everybody having me here tonight. The mayor has asked me to come and give an update on an existing project that we're doing for the town of Livingston. As she mentioned, I work with a company called Magnolia River. We are an engineering, GIS, and inspection firm based in northern Alabama, specifically in the Huntsville area. I am the director of GIS services there. And so some of you may remember, I think there's a couple of new faces on the Alderman board now, but I did speak to virtually the council back in June about a project that we were proposing to implement a GIS for the town, specifically for the water and wastewater utilities. A GIS is basically a digital mapping platform. This particular platform is hosted in the cloud. So sometimes they're on, a standing computer that you have at your desktop. Other times they're hosted virtually in the cloud. That actually allows for better collaboration when they're hosted in that type of manner. So really one of the driving factors at that particular moment was to fulfill a need for reimbursement of funding that was coming from the American Rescue Plan, called ARP. And that plan had issued about $3.5 billion to the state of Tennessee. It was post-COVID relief funding. And then that funding itself was then reissued out across the state to different entities. And Mayor Hayes had applied for funding specifically for the water and wastewater. That's where one of the primary funding drivers was at that time. A part of that, of course, is to get that money back, you have to meet certain stipulations. And one of those stipulations was to have 75% of your water and wastewater facilities mapped. So what we at Magnolia proposed was coming in, creating a standardized database that was tailored to the needs of the ARP program, and then implementing the GIS platform, and then doing some data processing that allowed us to populate some information into that map. So that was approved back in June. We do appreciate that, and we started that following week. The effort was completed in the beginning of August. So the city of Livingston now has, for their natural gas, they have a GIS, and for their water and wastewater, they have a GIS. Both of those built by us, and both of those built to integrate well with one another when that time comes. Right now, after we had actually implemented the GIS, however, you have kind of an empty database. So there's not data in there that you can see. So the next phase of the effort was to perform a field collection project. And that is where we send someone in the field and we go to each facility that we can see. So for instance, when you're talking about water and wastewater, we're talking about customer meters, valves, hydrants, manholes, anything that is visible to us above ground. And we will go and we'll take a GPS unit and we will stand near that asset and we will take a collection point. And that point immediately populates into the map so that anybody who has access to that map is able to see this. And they know now, this is where our valve is, this is where our customer meter is. And when they need maintenance performed on these, it creates a lot better operational efficiency. There's a lot of safety improvements that come along with having this type of information in your GIS. Another factor of this particular GPS field collection effort is to ensure that the meters themselves are in the proper location, because if we can actually stand there and we can take that point, then we know for a fact that if somebody gets called to this, they are going to immediately be able to be there. You know, fortunately, the town has meter readers that know the system really well, but I think we all know that turnover happens. And so as people leave, that kind of institutional knowledge leaves with them. And this enables there to be a permanent digital record of all of these locations. So that's what we've been working on so far. As I mentioned, the first project was completed. That was a full database, the GIS, and the data processing effort, and we are currently doing the GPS field collection. So if you see somebody strange wandering around your property, don't be scared. They are associated with the town. We do have approval to be there, and we are just taking those locations of assets in order to benefit the town as they move forward in populating their GIS map. So the next phase that could potentially happen, I wanted to mention tonight, if you think about a map, even just think about a road atlas, you've got your towns, you've got your roads that are running between them. Well, a water system works very similarly to that. So a point would maybe be a town, the road would be a main line or a service. Right now, what we're collecting are points. So just static valves, meters, hydrants, as I mentioned. The next thing that we'd like to provide for the town is actually digitizing in those mains and services. That way it allows for connectivity, just like running pipes, water runs, it flows. This allows you to visualize that flow in your system. It allows you to look for areas that are at risk based on the type of material that the pipe is, the date that it was installed, the different types of substrate that it's in, so the ground, the elevation, various different variables. So it helps you to map those to identify areas that could need maintenance or could be more at risk of leaks, and then make maintenance plans in order to, prevent that from happening. And I'm not here to ask for anything tonight. I'm just here to give you an update on the work that we've been doing, and I'd love to answer any questions if you have any. Otherwise, I'll continue to give updates to Mayor Burnett. And at some point, I'd love to come and present and actually show you an image of the map itself as it continues to get populated and kind of show you how it works and how it can be visualized, because there are other things that you can do with these maps for community engagement, creating outward-facing maps that don't have any proprietary information, but they do allow the community to see what is going on. So if there's certain maintenance that's happening in a specific area, you can actually depict that and you can show to your community, hey, this is going to be happening in this area. They can look it up based on their address to know if they might be potentially impacted by that. There's a lot of really great things. I could talk about GIS forever. I'm definitely a GIS nerd, but happy to share what we have been doing, and I look forward to continuing to work with the town.
Who has questions? It's pretty deep, isn't it? So anyway.
Can you put all that in writing?
I can definitely summarize and send it.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Well, we appreciate you coming from Huntsville.
Thank you. Absolutely. It's my pleasure.
Look forward to seeing you next time.
Happy to be here.
So,
Have a good evening.
Thank you, Allison. Okay, next on the agenda is Chief Ray Smith.
Good evening, Mayor, Board Alderman. We have submitted from the city again. We've gathered up some more stuff, and we're continuing to work through a lot of other items that we have at the city that has become the no use anymore, or we're replacing. So there's no sense having something sitting around that we can't use right now. So I'm asking on the list that you have, I'm asking for permission to take that and add it to the other items we have that's on the previous that we haven't got rid of just yet, and go through gov deals and sell those items to bring back that revenue back into the city to help replace some older items that we have there. The list has got several are on it, and try to get those things done here, probably looking at about December at the most to get that really done and gathered up. And if we have any more items, come back in December and add it into that to get it by the first of the year sold and replaced.
Move approved.
Second.
Okay. So we have a motion by David Lankford and a second by Rex Dale. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passed.
Also, Mayor, I want to bring up that the city of Livingston and the police department has been together with the fire department. They are gathering up a relief to send to East Tennessee where all the flooding is going. And we've got it posted out there. I just want to let everybody know who is watching or listening. We are taking up donation stuff and will be sent out, and Captain Gore and Chief Dial is heading up that relief to head to East Tennessee with it. So we would thank for anybody that we would help and bring it there, and we'll carry it there to them and for them. We thank everybody.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Chief. Okay, other business? If not, do we have a motion? You just can't wait. We have a motion to adjourn by Rex. Do we have a second? Okay, all in favor? All opposed? Like sign, motion passed.